All right, good evening, everyone. I'm going to call to order the March town meeting for the town of Cheverly. The time is 7:33, and the first item will be the roll call for elected officials. I'm Mayor Micah Watson. I'm here, the town administrator, the chief of police, the deputy chief of police, the public works director, the deputy public works director, and the town clerk are also present. Is the council member from Ward 1 present?
Present.
Ward 2?
Present.
3?
Present.
4?
Present.
Is Councilmember Garces online? I didn't log in yet.
Can I make a motion to excuse Councilmember Garces?
Well, let's
Finish roll call first.
okay, he's not here. And then Ward 6?
Present.
Okay, seeing 6 of the town's 7 elected officials are present, a quorum is present to conduct business. Vice Mayor Briner, do you have a motion?
Motion to excuse Councilmember Garces from tonight's meeting?
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned by the Vice Mayor and seconded by Councilmember Fry. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes 5-0. Councilmember Garces is excused from this meeting. The next order of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Excellent. Item 3 is the approval of the agenda. Council, I am aware that we are likely to want to remove item 11, 5701 Landover Road. Council, are there any other changes to the agenda? Mr. Galloway, any?
Yes, if we can remove item number 10 as well, Charter Amendment CAR 226. This is at the request of the Board of Elections as well. We can revisit that in a work session.
Excellent. Would you like to? Okay, we will plan to put it on the March work session agenda. We can talk about it later tonight, I guess. All right, that's 2 items. Council, any others? Council, is there a motion?
Motion to approve the agenda minus items 10 and 11.
Second.
It's been moved by Vice Mayor Briner and seconded by Councilmember Tansey. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes 5-0. The agenda is adopted. Item 4 on the agenda is the consent agenda. Tonight's consent agenda consists of only 2 items, the town meeting minutes for February 12, 2026, and the work session minutes for February 26, 2026. Council, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned by Councilmember Glowahek and seconded by Vice Mayor Briner. Is there any discussion of the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The consent agenda is adopted by a vote of 5-0. Item 5 on the agenda is grant request approvals. Council, this is the first item on our agenda that is underlined, meaning that we will open the podium to resident input on these items. Mr. Galloway, how would you like to structure this?
Mayor and Council, we can go through each of the individual grants. I gave a favorable recommendation for the first one, the Cheverly Village, and I think we do have someone here in the audience if they want to speak. You want to speak on the grant? For Cheverly Village, yes.
Yes, please approach the podium, your name and ward, and go ahead.
Leila Riazi, Ward 1. I am not currently on the board of directors, but I can speak of this grant request, and that it is purposefully below the 2,000 threshold because we're looking to have something that is very deliverable and that we can come back to you to show the good that it's done for the effort. And then we'll be back to you in the next fiscal year with our next ask. So this was written by Rudy, who also was here to testify at the last work session, and was voted on and put forward by the Board of Directors, Renata Reimschussel being the president.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Council, are there any questions for Mr. Galloway or for the village about this grant? All right, thank you. Do you want to go the others, and then we'll see what how the council wants to
Sure.
motion?
Can I have you to stay there for the next one as well, and that's the Women's Club? Thank you.
Yes, the Women's Club has put forward a grant request for the amount of $2,000, $1,500 of that to continue and expand the Pass Love Along program. That program, you are most aware of it from the packages that you receive, but those packages actually go out throughout community for people who need a lift, for people who are going through challenging times, to celebrate different organizations, and then also $500 for a history project to share history and to work with younger residents in town to also understand how some of the women's clubs' personal stories have intersected with different movements in history within Maryland and beyond. And that should be written in your packet. I haven't seen, is that attachment in here this evening? I just came in, so.
Can I just say, was the village for 1,800? You said it was less than 2,000.
Yes, the village is, it's listed in here. I want to say it is less than 1,800. I just need to find it. I don't trust my memory for these things because there are too many. But I know it was listed in here.
I have it listed as $1,125.
Thank you.
125. All right, thank you. All right, council, any questions for the Women's Club or for Mr. Galloway about that $2,000 grant request? Mr. Wade?
Just, can you go with the amounts again? I'm sorry. Which one was 1,125, so which one?
1,125 for Cheverly Village, 2,000 for the Cheverly Women's Club.
Thank you.
Any other questions on the Women's Club application? All right, Mr. Galloway, that leaves us the market.
Okay. This is a grant that the mayor and council supports on a yearly basis. Mayor and council, they're asking for $2,000 for programming and outreach, programming such as insurance permits, square fees, et cetera, and then outreach such as the advertising and some of the entertainment that they have on the actual days of the market. So they are requesting $2,000. Are there any questions at this time?
Council, any questions about the Cheverly Community Market application? All right, hearing none from the council, is there any member of the public that would like to offer any public input on these grant requests? You may have one pass of up to 3 minutes. Ma'am, please approach the podium. And your name and ward, and you have 3 minutes.
Since I just came, I think I'm from the Women's Club, and I think you may have heard from the Women's Club, but I do have some things to add. If I
Yes,
can
please
have
go
a
ahead.
little bit more time. Okay.
Joyce Lang, Ward.
This is kind of,
Yeah.
okay, this is kind of almost part of the grant issue and goes further. We have some new ideas for 2026 that we'd like to share with the town and ask the town to input and add to what the things I'm going to say, that I'll remember to say. We are going to, some of you have heard parts of this, we are going to plant seeds of peace and community building in our town. We're there. We can go even further. And that's what we want to take a greater part in doing, and invite everybody in town to join us to make sure that we can accomplish it. So I won't go through the ideas I've brought. I've got lots already. We have lots of materials and ideas for you to learn and to pick up on. So you have my contact. It's in the newsletter every month. The town, I'm going to tell the town office, if anybody says they'd like to contact me and doesn't have my contact, feel free to give it to them. And we'll just go on and take it from there. We're going to plan on doing some things around the history. We have a written history that was done years ago by Leila and Fred Price. We have a copy of that we'll put in a kind of a, we think, we're still working on this, a lending library form, so that other groups in town, other individuals, other families who might be interested in learning about the history of the old Fourth Ward. It's very interesting. You can lend library a copy home and have it, and learn from it. We have history of the United States government that we are excited about and interested in sharing, particularly with teenagers. They need to know more about the history of this country. And there's lots of other things I won't take the time now to tell you. But be in touch with us. Oh, yeah. On the way in, we went to the old building. And so we saw all the baskets. They're in the old building in the lobby. So you have to let Beverly know. That's from the Women's Club, Beverly Jones, and that comes in part from the grant money.
All right, thank you for that.
Thank you.
And thank you again for the baskets. Seeing someone have their laptop open? Thank you. Where is the echo coming from? Okay. We will soldier onward by speaking slowly. Council, since I don't see any further public input, is there a motion from the council for one or two or all three of these grants?
I'll make a motion to approve these Cheverly Village, Cheverly Women's Club, and Cheverly Community Market grant request.
Second.
The motion has been made by Councilmember Fry and seconded by Vice Mayor Briner. Is there any discussion from the council? I just want to ask Mr. Galloway, we're still under our 15,300, I think is what we have in this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, excellent. Then we are still on budget for this line item, which is 535125. Council, any other points you'd like to make on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes 5-0. The three grant requests are approved. And we are on to item 6 on the agenda, which is resident input. This is an opportunity for any member of the community to offer input on any of the 4 items anything that's not one of the 4 remaining items on the agenda that are underlined. Okay, so if you'd like to speak on anything that's not the financial update, the Keller Building, the hospital development, or HB 1142, please feel free to come up to the microphone. We are going to do 3 minutes, and there will be no...
Can't cede my time to someone else?
No, there will be no return trips to the buffet this evening.
All right.
Go ahead.
Dan Smith from Ward 1. So in this time of, of grave concern for global, national, county events and activities that are coming from this extremely authoritarian and overreach and problems that we're all very much aware of. Some of our community neighbors have come together and are offering an opportunity to build community and be positive, to demonstrate our shared American and Cheverly values. So on Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12 in Legion Park, we're going to have a community sing. We'll have a No Kings caroling. We're inspired by some of the really uplifting positive response that occurred in Minneapolis to the tragedies that occurred there. And Alice Goldberg has curated quite a number of songs. So we'll be having a No Kings caroling event. So we'll meet there at 10, and everyone is welcome. This is a uplifting and positive event, and it's 2 weeks before the National No Kings Day. So it's a good way to build community and find out about ways to participate there. We'll also be having a collecting food and household goods for the Route 1 group that is helping our neighbors in need right now. And so there's quite a bit of information, I think, circulating online. But I just want to make sure that everyone is aware of this and knows, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for that. Is there other resident input on items not those four? Name, ward, and you have 3 minutes.
Hi, can you turn on the microphone, please?
Yeah, sorry. Start over, please.
Okay. Sheila Salo, Ward 2. March has come in like a lion. No, it's not the weather. It's the development projects which have gained in intensity. Cheverly Hill is heading to the county hearing on its preliminary plan of subdivision. The mayor and council, Cheverly Planning Board, and Cheverly Green Infrastructure Committee have worked diligently to get their recommendations ready. Those were posted on the town's website for your review. The Cheverly Green Infrastructure Plan, adopted by the town of Cheverly in 2011, identified a network of natural areas within Cheverly and made recommendations for soil, water, vegetation, animal life, land use, and our built environment. Members of the Cheverly Green Infrastructure Committee have since 2021 attended the many public meetings devoted to planning for the former Prince George's Hospital site, and have had informal discussions with members of the development team. Members of the committee attended the meeting of the County Subdivision Review Committee and have reviewed the meeting summary and memos from its contributing agencies. The Cheverly Green Infrastructure Committee's own research and consultations with experts also inform this recommendation. In 2021, the committee provided recommendations to the County Redevelopment Authority, which, together with those of the Cheverly Planning Board and the Town of Cheverly, were made mandatory for any development of the site. The Cheverly Planning Board recommendations for the preliminary plan address open space, bicycle, pedestrian pathways, and traffic. The Cheverly Green Infrastructure Committee recommendations overlap with the Cheverly Planning Boards on open space and pathways, but also address broader environmental concerns and stormwater management. Woodlands, parks, and open spaces, pedestrian and bicycle trails, air quality, stormwater management, all are covered in our recommendations. Simultaneously, the Green Infrastructure Committee has been preparing notes on a development project for 5801 Annapolis Road, still in its early stages. Among the considerations is that the property is very close to an existing gas station, a situation with potential serious health consequences for the development's future residents. At the same time, together with EJAT, we are studying Vulcan Materials project for a concrete batching plant at 1301 Claybrink Road. We also call your attention to the coming hearings on the Port Towns Sector Plan and the Master Plan of Transportation revision for those
project's potential impacts on Cheverly. End of story. Thank you.
Thank you for those comments. A very helpful overview. Are there any other resident input at this time? Does anyone see anyone online? Okay, I don't see anyone online. Please, name, ward.
Did she leave it on? Yes, she did. Beth L'Italian, Ward 3. Just since we're doing announcements anyway, the Garden Club's seed library is located on the other building facing the police station, and I am proud to announce that it is stocked, and I take recommendations. So I think most of you know how to find me. If you don't, ask somebody.
All right, thank you for that. Seeing no one else no one online and no one else in the room. That concludes resident input for March. Let us move now to committee reports, item 7, and we'll start, as always, with the Recreation Council.
Rec Council, we are upcoming Sunday. We have the adult game night from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. We will have various games inside the gym. It will be pickleball, and the waiting area will be several card games as well as several other things. Please come out for that. The monthly meeting is now scheduled for Monday, March 23rd at 7:30, either 7 or 7:30. We're still trying to figure that out. We'll get that out to you all. Easter egg hunt will be Saturday, April 14th at 11 a.m. I want to give a special shout out to Councilmember Garces. The president of the Record Council, Kerry, asked for me to reach out to him to translate the flyer into Spanish. So he actually did that and responded very quickly with that. So thank you, Councilmember Garces, for that. Outside of that, we are still looking for members. We have approximately 3 new members, I believe. So we're getting there. And finally, a special shout out to Rob for his membership from Ward 1. But definitely come out to the meeting, get involved, and we are going to concentrate not just on youth, but also adult activities through our Rec Council. I yield back.
Council, any questions for the Rec Council? Seeing none, Cheverly Day Committee?
Yes, good evening. So Cheverly Day Committee is moving forward with our full week of activities for Cheverly Day, Chev Week 95. If your group or organization would like to host an event during Chev Week, you can contact Joni Bell. She is furiously putting together a full list of events for that week. And obviously, since this is our 95th anniversary, we are having a parade. So we are looking forward to anything, floats, bicycles, walking, anything that you would like to do in the parade. Please, again, reach out to Cheverly Day Committee and get yourself in the parade. And if you're not going to be in the parade, be on the sidelines to watch us and cheer us on. Thanks very much.
Thank you for that. And Mr. Galloway, can we ask you, since we're 6 months out, to notify Metro Bus? I know they're not called Metro Bus anymore, but and also whoever else we need to tell that we're closing a portion of Cheverly Avenue.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Council, any questions for Cheverly Day Committee? Seeing none, Planning Board.
Planning Board continued to comment on the PPS letter that we are preparing. They had some notes that I brought for our later discussion. They also had a robust discussion about the 5801 townhome development that I think will inform future discussion. So I kept the notes on that. The committee chair is here. I was going to ask if Carlo could add updates.
Please. Introduce yourself, please, for the record.
There we go. Good evening, Mayor, Council members. Carlos Silbiger, Chair of the Planning Board and resident of Ward 4. I will just add a couple things, especially related to the Cheverly Hill development. We spent a good portion of the last 6 months doing a lot of deep dive into that development, reviewing the preliminary plan, meeting with the development team several times, sending question and answers back and forth. hearing from many members of the public, a joint meeting with the Green Infrastructure Committee. We sent the council comments on February 28th by email that put together sort of 3 sets of information. One was specific areas of the preliminary plan that we think are worthy of town advocacy during this process. The second one is information that the developer should be providing to the town so that we have what we need to continue to provide comments and make sure that the development aligns with community needs. And the third are topics that are not necessarily included in the preliminary plan, but will be coming up in future plans and future processes that we think are important. And so we encourage the council to take a look. Any members of the public who would like to see it, it's in the packet for tonight's meeting as well, starting on page 38. If the council has suggestions, ideas, things you'd like us to follow up on related to anything in that letter, please let me know. And I have some specific thoughts from last night's meeting on the town's draft, but I'll come back when that item comes up later. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, and thank you. Please pass our thanks on to the entire board for your volunteer work. Mr. Tanzi, anything further?
No, that's it.
Council, any questions for the planning board? Okay, moving on to the Board of Elections. I don't believe they're here. Okay, not seeing the board. I do believe that Mr. Rule, the chair of the Ethics Commission, intended to be here. Is he online? Mr. Rule, go ahead. We cannot hear you, sir. We'll try to get your audio up here in the room. Tom, try again to say something. Do you want to turn your speaker on?
Let's try that.
Go ahead.
There we go. All right. All right. So as I was saying, good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Tom's Rule with the Cheverly Ethics Commission. There's really not a lot for it this time. We've had no new correspondence or any other actions since we approved our governing documents back in November of last year. I am in the process of getting the annual financial disclosure reports out. I had to make some technical adjustments to the PDF that those reports are submitted on, hopefully in order to make it a little bit easier to use, a little bit easier to understand. My intent is to get that out by Monday of next week. And everyone who is required to fill that out will have 30 days to complete it. And we will move out from there. Standing by for any questions from the mayor or council.
Our reports and submit them. Okay, thank you, sir. I don't see any questions. So again, our appreciation to the commission for your service.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night.
Hometown Heroes, Mr. Galloway, is there any update? Or is Mr. Bell online? I don't think he is.
Yeah, just a brief update on Hometown Heroes. This is for anyone that would like to be considered for their banner to be hung by July 4th. We're asking that you please submit your application by June 4th. Anything accepted out of after June 4th will be under consideration for January of 27.
Excellent. And this July is the first time that some of the banners will come up for their 1-year anniversary, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So some may come down if the family decides not to renew them.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Any questions for Mr. Galloway about the program? Mr. Wade?
Just to be clear, so the after the 1 year, there is a renewal fee?
Yes, it is.
Is it the same price?
Yes, it is.
For the $250?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I think isn't it 75 the second year? We'll check.
Okay.
We'll let you know next month. But there is a renewal fee. If you don't pay beyond the $250, then you get your banner back. it goes to your family, but it doesn't stay up on the pole.
Well, I do like the latter number, but I mean, it could be 75.
I don't think that should be the case.
And at any rate, when your term of display is over, it's the property of the family.
Right.
Because they purchased it. Any other questions for the town administrator about Hometown Heroes? Okay, last but not least, Youth Council. Do we have a Youth Council representative?
We'll do that later.
Okay, that's fine. We will defer that until later in the meeting. Then I will move to item 8 on the agenda, which is the fair meeting summary from March 5th. The most recent time that the mayor and council held a closed meeting. There it is. Closed meeting summary for March 5, 2026. On March 5, 2026, the mayor and council of the town of Cheverly voted unanimously to convene a closed session pursuant to Maryland Code 3101 of the General Provisions Article, otherwise known as the Open Meetings Act. The closed session was convened at the conclusion of a special meeting by motion made by Vice Mayor Briner and seconded by Council Member Garces. Vote was unanimous to hold a closed session for the following reasons. B1, which is to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees, or officials over whom this public body has jurisdiction, or for any other personnel matter that affects one or more specific individuals. And B3, to consider the acquisition of real property for a public purpose and matters directly related to the acquisition. And B7, to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice. Those present in the closed session were the mayor and council members, Delane Galloway, Jason DeLoach, Esquire, Todd Pounds, Esquire, for part of the meeting, Patrick McAndrew, Esquire, for part of the meeting, Police Chief David Morris for part of the meeting, and Deputy Police Chief Kraus for part of the meeting. No. Okay, I will read that section again to remove the error. Those present in the closed session were the mayor and council members, Town Administrator Delane Galloway, Town Attorney Jason DeLoach, Esquire, Town Attorney Todd Pounds, Esquire, for a portion of the meeting, Attorney Patrick McAndrew for part of the meeting, and Cheverly Police Chief David Morris for part of the meeting. During the closed session, Attorney McAndrew updated the council on the results of an investigation involving a town employee. Attorney DeLoach provided an update on a legal matter involving a former employee and provided advice on that matter. Mr. Galloway updated the council on the preliminary results of a personnel-related matter impacting one or more specific individuals and how certain processes will move forward as a result. Mr. Galloway also discussed specific issues related to 2 individuals that should not be discussed in public. Mr. Galloway updated the council on a long-standing legal matter involving a resident and their property. Attorneys Pounds and DeLoach provided advice on how to proceed. Attorney Pounds provided legal advice on how certain funds allocated to the town can be used. The mayor and council received legal advice from Attorney Pounds on its options regarding potential property acquisitions in the town. Mr. Pounds also updated the council on an ongoing legal matter involving a zoning matter. That concludes the fair summary of the March 5, 2026 meeting. The next item on the agenda is proclamations, Women's History Month. Does anyone besides me want to read this? Or would you like me to read it?
I would be happy to read it.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. You have the floor.
Okay. Proclamation Women's History Month. Whereas every March, Women's History Month provides an opportunity to honor the generations of remarkable contributions of women throughout history who have played pivotal roles in shaping our nation's progress and character. And whereas the 2026 Women's History Month theme, Embracing Equity, Women Leading Change Across Generations, celebrates the collective strength, resilience, and influence of women who dedicate their lives to education, mentorship, and leadership, shaping the minds, opportunities, and futures of all generations. And whereas education has always been a powerful catalyst for change, and women have been at the forefront, driving this transformation. From classrooms to boardrooms, women educators and leaders have played a pivotal role in nurturing minds and inspiring action. It is important to acknowledge and celebrate these contributions, especially at a time when inclusive and equitable education is more critical than ever. And whereas women's history is inclusive of all people who identify as women, and it is paramount to acknowledge and celebrate the invaluable contributions of all women, including transgender and gender-diverse individuals, who have been at the forefront of movements for equity and social justice. And whereas women from diverse racial, ethnic, and socioeconomic backgrounds have made indelible marks on our nation's history, often in ways that have not been adequately acknowledged or recorded. And whereas women have been instrumental in advocating for their rights and driving movements for social justice, including suffrage, civil rights, labor rights, LGBTQ+ rights, and more, yet their contributions have been historically undervalued and marginalized. And whereas in Cheverly, women continue to make remarkable contributions to our community, serving as educators, volunteers, business owners, public servants, and leaders in civic, cultural, and environmental initiatives, strengthening the town and inspiring future generations. And whereas it is incumbent upon us to not only celebrate the achievements of women, but also confront the challenges they face, including regressive legislation that threatens to erode the hard-won gains of the past century. And whereas, as we commemorate Women's History Month, let us renew our commitment to the ongoing struggle for gender equity and justice, recognizing that true equality can only be achieved when the rights of all women, particularly the most marginalized among us, are upheld and protected. And now, therefore, the Cheverly Mayor and Council do hereby proclaim that March is designated as Women's History Month in Cheverly, Maryland, and encourage all residents to observe this month.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Shall we vote to adopt the proclamation?
I don't think we usually vote.
I don't think we need to, do we? I think you can assume it has our unanimous support. Very well. Moving on to item 12, which is the financial update. We will have resident input on this item if the residents want, but the floor now goes to Mr. Galloway and Ms. Mock.
Is Ms. Mock on?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I will turn the floor over to Ms. Mock.
I was just going to go over February of 2020 budget act.
Hear me?
Could you repeat that?
You're having some connection issues.
Is that? Can you hear me?
It's still doing the same thing.
Okay, do you want to disconnect, Ms. Mock, and try to reconnect? Oh, there, well, we can see you.
I can try.
Go ahead.
Let me disconnect.
Okay. I wanted to ask Mr. Galloway for next week, because I know we're putting the cart a little bit before the horse, but we have a revenue meeting a week from tonight.
Yes, that's a revenue in general government.
Revenue and general government. Okay, so council, be ready for that. I wanted to ask for just a printed copy, because I'm old school, of the adopted 26 budget.
Absolutely.
Thank you. The whole thing. I know it's a lot of trees, at least for me. Others can speak for themselves. Okay, I got one more here. And just, laid out as the adopted budget, the one to reflect what we voted on. Any predictions you want to put in there is at your discretion. If you don't want to put any in, that's fine at this point. But that'll at least give us the baseline to start that 27 discussion. Are you back, ma'am? Give it a try.
Yeah. Is that better?
I think it's better. Go ahead.
Okay, great. We have the books caught up through February 2026, and we have the budget to actual report for that period of time. So I thought I would just highlight some of maybe the important items in that period of time for you. The revenues look pretty good. They are coming in pretty close to budget. Some of the revenues are almost 100% received as of now, for example, real estate taxes, and others will get heavier the latter part of the year. For example, local income tax and highway user tax usually comes in this latter part of the year. So I think we're okay on the revenue side. The red light and the speed camera numbers are coming in okay with the budget. Actually, a little bit higher this year than the budget, so that's a good thing. We've got a couple of expenses that are coming in higher than anticipated. The first of those particular items is the retirement. The current retirement for the mayor and council, administration, and public works is about $83,000. The expense is $83,000 more than we budgeted. The other one is for the police department. Theirs is about $185,000 more than budget. Mr. Galloway and I are going to talk with the state to find out about the police department's amount that was the bill that was presented, to see if that is going to be a reoccurring amount or if that was just a catch-up adjustment. We're not sure on that, but that's a large variance over what we budgeted. The other items are looking good. Salaries are in line with the budget and the time of year we're going through. There were a couple of expenses that were put in this past month that you're going to get a grant for, and we're going to propose a budget amendment come next meeting once we figure out it's for the gym floor and the bleachers. So right now, the revenues exceed expenditures by $1,171,000. Now we're going into March, April, May, and June where we do spend more than you receive. So that excess will disappear over time. Your cash balance at this point in time is $6.5 million. That's cash in the bank, cash in the Maryland Local Government Investment Pool. That is the total that you have right now. That's about $600,000 more than it was at year end. Fund balances, we're watching those. There's been some expenses for highway user money. We've used up a little bit of the fund balance on highway user, about $170,000. The Ely building is still working down its fund balance that it had brought forward to from June 30th of 25. And so things look on track, except for the items that I mentioned.
Thank you for that. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to ask if there's any question.
All right, thank you for that. Mr. Galloway, anything to add at this point?
Not at all.
Council, questions for Ms. Mock? My only question, is, when we adopted the budget, we were expecting to be about 384,000 short. How close do you think we are to being 384,000 short for the, for the general fund?
I think right now we will have to look, as I said before, I think the revenues will hit their mark. We do have a couple, the retirement expenditures higher than expected. So we'll just have to watch that to see if we make that up in any of the revenue sources. So I still think that's a good number, but we'll have a better idea in the next couple months.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I am heartened to learn that we do not seem to be drifting too far away from that number. Thank you for that. Mr. LeGloahec.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Mock, for that presentation. So you started off by saying so that by my reading of this, revenue is at 62% of our income, and you said that there's about a little over 5 million yet to be realized, and you said you have no concerns at this point that
that is not exactly, we can't use that particular percentage. I don't mean that, because there's a couple of revenue sources that you have to recall. We're also going to propose a budget adjustment to get rid of one of the revenue sources is $1,400,000, and that particular revenue source was recognized in FY25. But it also has an expenditure, so we will be getting rid of the revenue, and we will be getting rid of the expenditure. So I don't think that particular percentage that you're looking at is really very accurate to use, is my point. Because we have in the total revenues, for example, under intergovernmental, those particular items, if you receive them, most of them are expenditure-driven grants. So if you get the revenue, you spend the expense. So I'm not sure that all those are going to come in this particular year, but if you don't get those revenues, then you won't be spending the money. Does that make sense? In other words, we don't have $5 million left to receive because there's some items that, like the 1.4 million, was already recognized in FY25. We need to take that off, and we need to take off the expenditure. And I don't know if all the other intergovernmental revenues are going to materialize in 2026.
Okay, yes. My other concern is that, so under the taxes, as far as projections of the possibility of lowered income taxes, you said that income taxes have not yet come in. Is there any speculation, worry, or concern on your part that that number will be considerably lower than what we budgeted?
That is one item that I am a little concerned with. I spoke with Mr. Galloway the other day about that particular item. I really wanted to go back to take a look to see how that particular budget number was derived at. We should be, March, April, May, June are not real heavy months of receipts. So I am a little concerned on that particular number. You're absolutely correct.
You are not alone. Thank you.
Yes.
Council, any other questions at this time for Ms. Mock? Hearing none, is there any resident input on the financial update? You may speak. Yeah, go ahead. Please approach the podium, name, ward, and each person may speak once for 3 minutes.
Only three, eh? Okay, Sean Patrick McGuire. Ward 2. His bloody neighbor. Anyway, maybe. Okay, sorry, lass. Ma'am, I walked in late. I had a concern about stated figure of before FY, I guess, budget year before July 1st, about, I guess, March of last year, of 6.8 million. But I guess there's a lot of overexpending. Well, it's walking late, so I wish you could. I guess the question is, what is the revenue for unrestricted accounts again, I guess, for the town of Cheverly? And then I guess projected expenditure for, I guess, FY26, July 1st to end before, I guess, June 30th of calendar year 25 to 26, I think, 2026.
I'm sorry. Could you repeat your question?
Okay. I walked in late. I'm trying to learn on the fly. Can you give me revenue for, I guess, present year, and I guess your idea of expenditures, your opinion? Then I think there was an overestimate of revenue versus expenditures, I think, so it's a higher deficit for FY26. But second question is, what was revenue before July 1st calendar year for like March of 2025? What was the revenue of unrestricted account?
Okay, is that your input? Because then we'll address the.
But can I get an answer from him, please?
Well, we'll attempt to answer the question, but
I mean,
provide all of your input.
I mean, she's the auditor, right?
She's not the auditor. She's the treasurer. But
the treasurer. Well,
do you have any further input?
Auditor. I'm sorry, boss. Okay, I was speaking to the. Excuse me, Mayor. I was speaking to the auditor. I was trying to get figures on the fly. I heard $6.8 million, $24, $6,800,000, $24 unrestricted account before July 1st calendar year. So, and then I had looked at the newsletter, latest newsletter. There was a difference of figures, so I was curious. So, what do you? 1,000,002 something. So I was curious about underestimating revenue and higher expenditures as it's being addressed at this present. Thank you, Trey.
Okay, thank you. I will offer one answer, and then I'll turn to Ms. Mock. We started the current fiscal year, so we're 9 months into the fiscal year, roughly. We're in our 9th month. We started the year with a fund balance, general fund balance of $5.142 million. And the budget that we adopted for this current fiscal year, 26, was for a deficit of about $384,000. So we were resigned, for lack of a better verb, to ending the fiscal year, June 30, 2026, with roughly $4.8 million in the fund balance. Ms. Mock?
That is correct. That is correct. I agree with what you're saying. And we're anticipating if revenues come into what we're expecting and expenditures come into what we're expecting, then you would end up with a fund balance of 4.8 at the end of the year. So we do have some expenditures we're seeing that are over budget, and we possibly might have real estate taxes under budget. But I think you have some other areas that look like they're under budget in expenditures. So right now, my still think best guess is you're going to hit your deficit of $384,000. So your fund balance would be right where you just said, $4,800,000.
And an input on the March financial update. Any online? Okay, seeing none, council, do you have any final questions for Ms. Mock? Okay, seeing none, we will move to the next agenda item, which is Lucky 13.
Thank you, Ms. Mock.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Mock. We appreciate it.
Sure.
Lucky 13 is the Keller update. I see your hand in this. So perhaps we'll turn immediately to the Keller team and get feedback to that report from the CPJ team, and then turn back to Mr. Galloway's team to bring it home. Please go ahead, introduce yourself for the record.
I'm sure this is Ben Fry, Vice President at Keller Construction.
Thank you.
So our
go ahead.
update this evening. Sorry. So our update this evening, we completed a punch list walk for the office space earlier today. Generally went well. We still have a couple of items that we need to address that we'll coordinate with Steve Brayman and his team, but we are on pace for those offices to begin move-in for Monday as targeted at the last meeting. We still have a couple of items to complete in the on the second floor. The AV components are expected to be wrapped up hopefully tomorrow by close of business. And then we'll set up training hopefully with the town next week. So the DAS room and everything is fully functional and hopefully ready for this next town meeting in the next 2 weeks, if not before. Field update. We've engaged with our site contractor to do the modifications at the field. Through that process this week, we discovered a couple of other items and details that we needed to get engineering on that we're flushing out hopefully by close of business tomorrow, with the target of having the work begin at the field hopefully by the middle of next week, pending resolution of those items. Also the garage area and the concrete outside of those garage areas that's currently being remediated. The demo of that concrete should be done at the early part of next week, with that being poured back in place in accordance with spec by the end of next week or early the following week. And then we're flushing out some of the last details on the garage equipment and the location of that. So we're still targeting that early May date to turn over the rest of the building.
All right, thank you for that. So I think I heard in there that Mr. Brayman's team would be able to move into the office space on March 26th. Is that where we're at?
Actually, we are heading forward next week. So March 16th is the date we're going to look to start moving in.
Excellent.
So I suggest give us a couple of days as we move in, as we transition from the trailer. But yes, we're on track for the move next week.
And this is only the front part of the office area and kitchen area, not the industrial area more.
It's the office area. The high bay areas need some additional work, both inside and also Mr. Fry relayed the concrete. If you look outside, you'll see the big pad of concrete's halfway chipped up. It needs replaced, and they're replacing it.
And that work, all of that work, the last 3/5 or so of the 3/4 of the building will be done by May 8th. What is our target date?
Yeah, we were shooting for the first week of May. We'll continue to update the team as we work through the last minute details of some of the electrical items that we're going to be adding in based on the location of garage equipment, but still hoping and feeling that that is feasible.
All right. Mother's Day delivery then. How wonderful. Okay. Ms. Barnhart, anything to add at this point?
Not regarding the schedule. I know that there have been some concerns about the lighting and dark sky compliance. So to give an update on that, the team is currently exploring that and looking into it. The lighting for the site was designed and improved to meet county requirements at the time that the project was designed and permitted. The fixtures that are out there and on the plans are considered cutoff lights, meaning that the fixture sends the light downward and not horizontally or up into the sky directly. However, there are components that do not meet the full dark sky compliance. as that was not part of the original design. But the team is exploring options to hopefully improve compliance, including looking at potential of adding shields to the lights. Also, we are exploring separating the lights onto different circuits so that the timing of the lights and turning them off at certain times and periods can be explored, which is also a component of dark skies as well. So it will take some time for the team to fully explore this and work through it, but we are in the process of doing that.
Thank you for that. I'm thinking that the dark skies component will be something we're working on for the next year or so incrementally to get there. Mr. Brayman?
To like adding additional shielding to the lights. We also this circuitry. I was already planning on trying to see if we couldn't darken the entire north side. Parking lights might be a little bit more difficult, but then also too we have to make it all dark for fireworks. So that's what we've traditionally done. So in looking at that, we think we can seriously cut back the lighting. Exactly, well, as Robin said, we're striving to get closer to what dark sky requirements would be there. And as we go through it, we might be able to reach it, but we're certainly going to improve the situation.
Can you update us on the athletic facilities north of the building, broadly speaking? Are they online for T-ball, soccer, the other activities that are, as I said last time, increasing exponentially by the week now?
I recently reached out to the Boys and Girls Club. I believe they start up in April. Mr. Fry is trying to actually get the work done in between the north side of the building and the LOD fence. Hopefully starting next week and done within a week. So we're hoping to be able to complete that in March. There are some variables, but we hope to have that completed. And then we do have a contingency. If we're able to complete that quickly, then we'll probably be able to give unfettered access to the bathrooms. If we're unable to complete that quickly, we did discuss some ways that we might be able to rearrange the fencing. But but when they're working in that area, fencing has to be up. So the goal right now is to get that work completed, knocked out. I think Ben actually made a good stride with the preformed concrete company today that allows for us to lower the manholes, which was a big contention point. So we're hoping we can wrap this up in March and free up the fields even more so for the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That is better news than I had steeled myself for. I do want us to be open, if necessary, to obtaining portable bathrooms, and then we will deal with the cost of that down the road. If there are organized activities that are going to take place before we can open those bathrooms.
Yes, sir.
The last question was the vehicle chargers. Are those publicly available now?
Pardon me?
The vehicle chargers, are they publicly available?
Not yet.
Okay.
Well, if you look out back where we're going to park all the public works vehicles, that's that concrete pad that's being torn up right now. It's going to be repoured and then it's going to have to cure. So while we're moving in, it is going to be a hybrid system for a while where most of our trucks are still either going to be out by the trailer instead of using up the parking spaces right here. It's something we're going to have to evolve with. But once we can move back there, and right now when our trucks are in there, people do from time to time, as you may recall, park at those chargers in very awkward positioning. We need to be able to maintain getting our vehicles in and out. So I anticipate, though, hopefully in April, them becoming completely open.
All right, thank you. We will await that. I think the public would love to get a public announcement as soon as they're able to use those.
Oh, they will.
Thank
Just
you.
as people come down, they want to charge. We know that. We want to get them to it.
All right. Mr. Tanzia had his hand up. Council, other questions? Go ahead.
Yeah, just a simple question. Since T-ball season, baseball season's coming up, where will those public works vehicles be on the weekend? Because people definitely go down to the bottom of the hill if they can. What parking will be available there on the weekend when, until the concrete cures?
Well, certainly the diagonal parking, and I believe also people have been able to park alongside on the sides of the driveway up against the orange fence. I think that's a little bit easier to park up against. And there may be some, we're going to see if we can't have some parking spaces, down farther. So between the diagonal, the driveway, as I call it, on the way down, and some parking up at the top, hopefully we can accommodate everybody, with the mission to try to get out of their way even more as soon as possible.
But I guess, other people can speak to this. I might be forgetting something, but does it make sense to move some vehicles to the community center parking lot over the weekend, since we have a new parking area just outside the Ely building that I suspect that the T-ball families would love to use?
We'll certainly look into that. What we've been doing for meeting nights like tonight, we have been moving the trucks up there. So we are aware of that, and that is one way for us to get out of the way. Right now, though, we do have a construction fence blocking off the parking back here. So I'm going to have to talk to the team about, can we open that up? How soon can we open that up? We do have, the gate has been installed back here, so we may be able to open that up quicker. We don't want people to get back into
No,
the
that makes
secured
perfect
area.
sense. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that. I'm glad to hear that gate, which is a permanent feature of the building, has been installed. It's not the temporary fence, it's a permanent gate that will restrict the public from parking on the west end of the building.
Currently, though, it doesn't have the motor to it, but
Okay.
it will soon. But yes, sir, you
See
are
Park
correct.
come aboard. Anyone else? Mr. Wade?
Just want to confirm also the portable bathrooms will be available during the season, correct? The portable bathrooms?
At a minimum. We're hoping to actually get the bathrooms that are part of the lower part of the building that are on the north side of the building opened up as soon as possible.
That would be great.
So if we have those bathrooms are very nice. Those should suffice to replace the two that were there before. Hopefully there won't be a need for portable bathrooms after that. There still may be a need for one up at the top of the hill where we've had one. So we already have some extra portable bathrooms here in the field, but we'll be flexible with that.
Thank you.
We appreciate that. Any other council questions for Mr. Fry or Mr. Bremen and Mr. Galloway? All right, thank you then for that update. We will have this conversation again in 2 weeks. We will now move on to item 14. Oh, I'm sorry. Was there any resident input on the construction of the Ely building? Name, ward, and you have 3 minutes.
Green light's on. It was. Just a quick question on the track, the status of the track. Is it fully repaired and opened, or what's the estimate? Thank you.
The fencing that is surrounding the work area that is still needed to be done needs to be in place in order for that work. So we haven't been able to open up the new part of the of the track. So we're still diverting people around the fence. Again, I would hope that in April or beginning of April, we're opening that fully up.
Thank you for that.
Leila Riazi, Ward 1. First, thank you. I appreciate getting a response on dark sky compliant lighting, and I will continue to push that we not try to get close, that we actually get to dark sky compliant lighting. I also wanted to bring up to find out more about the conversation of handling the grade related, coming up to the track, and what have been conversations surrounding that, and to encourage that we actually work with residents who are well-informed and can provide some input on what might be good approaches. And if we are not willing to work with residents, to actually have somebody on site who has the direct experience for this type of work. I also wanted to encourage, and this is less probably for Keller and more for our Public Works Department and our mayor and council, since we're coming up on budget conversations, that there would be great benefit to having individuals in town that are staff and Public Works employees to have the opportunity to complete training on how to handle, as we're increasingly looking at rain gardens, increasingly looking at spill pools, different things along the way, that we actually have staff, and I don't believe we do, I'm happy to be corrected, who are certified, have completed, and there's a cost for that, and for that to be budgeted for, because if we don't follow through with the knowledge and the maintenance of that, that's money wasted. It looks good in the beginning, it doesn't follow through. And then also I'd like to learn, and maybe this is a Keller question, how long will the rain gardens along the project here be maintained under the agreement with Keller, or is the town immediately responsible for them? And I think that's everything I have at this point. Thank you very much, and I'd appreciate answers. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Mr. Fry or Mr. Brayman, any of that you'd like to address at this time?
Well, we have an overall one-year warranty with Keller, and so that would at least apply to, I believe, the viability of the plants. But as to the maintenance of it, that's going to immediately fall on us. So on the one side, the maintenance in the beginning is not as much. We do have plans to bring staff members up to training to be able to maintain those as we go on. So I think we're going to be in a good position.
Thank you for that. Mr. Fry, are you still on? Do you have anything to add?
Yeah. No, Steve's got it right on.
Okay. Thank you both for that. Is there any other resident input on the Keller construction? All right, seeing none, council, let us move to item 14, Hospital Hill, Cheverly Hill update. As you no doubt know, we have a deadline of March 20th to provide comments on the PPS, the preliminary plan of subdivision, to Park and Planning. Huge thanks from the mayor and council to the planning board and the Green Infrastructure Committee for preparing extensive comments. It is my intention to include those comments verbatim as attachments to the letter that we submit. It is my intention that we submit a relatively tightly focused letter of 2 or 3 pages to try to hit the most important points. I view this as our chance to document what we want the detailed site plan to have in it when it is written in X number of months from now. And of course, these all of that submission, so I think we're up to like 25 pages total now. All of that will be extensively reviewed by the planning staff at the county over the next few months, and I think that's hopefully we'll get some good feedback from them. Council, I have already 5 or 6 items that I think need to be changed in the letter, so we can discuss those items, other items you have, and then you can either make a motion to allow Mr. Galloway and I to finish the letter, or if you prefer, we can rewrite it and vote on a version as an agenda item next Thursday when we're already meeting anyway to discuss revenue. Anyone on council want to lead us off, or shall I go through the handful of additions that I have? Go ahead, Mr. Tanzi.
I just want to make sure I get on record what came up in the planning board meeting yesterday. Elaine.
The letter? Well, everyone has the letter in their packet. Yes? I hope so? Okay. Yeah.
So,
Go ahead, Dave.
fortunately, the paragraphs start with easy to find words like first, second, third, and fourth. So I'll reference the paragraphs by that. So the one starting with first talks about retail and and the planning board wanted to make sure we talk about things that they can be held to, because we can talk about high quality retail, but to make it seem like more of an expectation or a demand rather than something we're assuming we're going to get that may or may not come. In the second paragraph that starts with second, there was some question about sort of the legal strength of the word should after, in the last sentence, the preferred bicycle pedestrian adequacy project along Pepsi Place should be selected. They said we should make sure that we are writing something that requires that they do that, or that we're making it clear that we are expecting them to do that, and that should be conditional, not a suggestion. There was also the term, second to last sentence, that says trails should be easy to use and built with natural surfaces. They said that is a very precise term in this world, and usually means, could mean that you're getting dirt trails and things like that, which might not be what we want. They had suggested language: make sure they are ADA accessible and made with materials like permeable pavement, so that you're not saying a specific thing. You're giving a type, a category of product. In the next paragraph, impacted by added traffic is a high bar. So if we say impacted, it can mean, unless we say the road is no longer sufficient, they can argue it has not been impacted. So finding language like increased trips to make it clear that we're talking about any meaningful increase, not just something that raises it's no longer functional kind of bar. They did say closing the roads entirely is difficult to make happen. So he recommended emphasizing road improvements like bump outs, that those are things that we can get the developer to commit to funding. But once you open them, closing them entirely is, this is Brian speaking, who has a lot of experience in this stuff. So he didn't go into great detail, but he said something that is actionable is the road diet type installments, and that we should emphasize that. In the next paragraph, it said LEED is a private company. There are other green building standards. We should use language like highest green standard, e.g. LEED Platinum, so that if they find an equivalent, that is okay. They said that the best way to enhance bus use is to build better bus stops. So have requirements for the bus stops. For example, that all the bus stops should have shelters and trash cans and benches and real-time arrival information. Some list like that. I think that is it for the planning board notes. Carlo, do you have anything? Can we bring Carlo up?
Thank you once again. Hello? Where are we?
It's green?
Yes. Green light, but no sound. Try again.
Turn it off and on.
Hello? Hello?
Can you turn on your audio, please?
Hello? It's not you, it's
We're trying to get the audio.
Aha, here we go. All right, Councilmember Tanzi took all of my comments, except I just wanted to clarify one thing on the last point, the point around the transportation, public transportation. I think one key issue is not just clarifying what needs to be at the bus stops in order for them to be used, but that those things should be paid for by the developer. That the developer should be responsible for putting in that infrastructure, and then the town and the developer can work together to get more bus trips and things, but that it should be on them to actually put in the infrastructure. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that, Council. Maybe I'll go over the couple other things that I wrote down from speaking with other folks. Some of them are from the planning board. I did have the natural services. Adequacy does not equal impact, is not the same as impact regarding the streets. I wrote a note that we should mention the Prince George's County Economic Development Corporation on the business part, that they can encourage the businesses. We look forward to the developer working with the town at every step of the way. We didn't say that in the letter. We should say that. While you're reading this letter, you should also read the planning board and green infrastructure comments. We didn't say that. I wrote down a note. The letter should say something about cell towers and cell service. I'm not exactly sure what it should say, but it should say that. We can work on that. And then the health department building was the other note that I wrote to myself. We don't currently discuss the health department building, but I think it's important to us. Council, do you have other items? Go ahead, Mr. Wade.
Yeah, first, just thank the mayor and council for coming to a consensus on a short notice. I know the date was originally the 10th, but to the 20th regarding that. The third paragraph is very much important to me, to make sure that the language we said here, looking forward to continue to work collaboratively with the residents and developers in the future to implement long-term configurations that protect the residents. So we just want to make sure that we continue to do that aspect of things. And like I mentioned before, I also mentioned the fact of coming to a vote regarding the vehicular access regarding that as well. I yield back.
Okay, thank you. Vice Mayor, anything? Okay. Anyone else at this point? Or do you want to wait? We can go to resident input and then come back. Are there any members of the public who would like to speak on the letter or its attachments, name and word, and you have a single block of 3 minutes?
I don't need all that if I'm still going here. Sheila Sello, Ward 2. I just want to acknowledge that the various documents that are included in what the developer had called in another document, the complete environmental assessment, have now been provided. So we can take that off our wish list. These included the forest delineation report, the wetland delineation report, and the soil report. And they're very interesting, so it's very nice to have them. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. We will remove that bullet point from page 2 of the letter as a early victory. Name, ward, and you have 3 minutes.
Yes, I shouldn't need that. Leila Riazi, Ward 1. There was some discussion about how to handle this from here. I would encourage that the mayor be given support to complete the letter with Mr. Galloway, with the town administrator's support, because there will be things that'll be learned along the way, just as what documents have been received, and just to empower the mayor to do this. Because if you're trying to review every little thing, I think what I'm hearing across the diocese is that there is a consensus on the tone, the direction, and the items here. So please do support that so that you can get the best product. The other thing that I would say in all of this is that it's important that there be somebody from the town at the planning board meeting, because when they ask for someone from Cheverly and there isn't someone from Cheverly there, that just isn't the tone that we want to set. So if it's possible for the mayor to be present, that would be wonderful. If not for the mayor, to have the town administrator there, I think it's critical for one of your voices to be there. And beyond that, that this is a very important step, and I really appreciate the mayor including to work with the town, and if you could even add town and community at every step of the way, because there is that official body, and then there are the people. Thank you.
All right, thank you for those comments. Is there other public input on the letter or the plan? Name and ward, and you have 3 minutes.
I won't need 3 minutes. Quite quick comment. Actually, Joyce Jones, Ward 2. I'm going to reiterate something that was said at the very beginning of this agenda item. I'll just quote from the mayor's letter. Actually, we also express our deep appreciation for the countless volunteer hours donated by the Cheverly Planning Board and the Cheverly Green Infrastructure Committee to this project over the past decade, and their recommendations and improvements to this letter. Thank you so much to you, the council, and the town staff for recognizing and acknowledgement truly the countless hours that volunteers who really care about the town put into it. So I just want to thank you for your thank you.
And thank you for that. Thank you for the, that is appreciated. Is there other public, do we have anyone online? I can't see anyone. Do you see anyone? Seeing no one else online or in person seeking to make public input on this process, council, let's go back to the council. Mr. LeGloahec and then Vice Mayor, is your hand up? Yes. Go ahead.
Thank you. So I was just going to say, I think the letter is great. I think the 2 extra documents are also outstanding. And I was just going to say, I think that as you said, the mayor said that if we can have a directed comment somewhere in our letter to make sure that the planning board document and the GIC document are highlighted, that what they have said is important to us as much as the letter that we have written, and that that those 3 documents should also be given equal weight in the before the county planning board. And then just picking up on what Councilmember Wade said, that anything regarding road access is not finalized at this point, and that we are allowed to continue to make a decision, and that process continues, that nothing is being finalized at this point. Thank you.
Vice Mayor Briner, and then we'll go to Mr. Tanzi.
Okay, 2 things. One, just to pick up on what Councilmember LeGloahec was saying, what we're doing on our side of the roads is not finalized, but according to this letter and the PPS going forward, they are going to build the roads as out. Okay, great. My question is truly a question, not sure if the letter is the right place for this, but last week, 2 weeks ago, we were having a lot of discussion about HOAs and community associations and whether those were going to be a big part of the development, whether there's a scenario where those aren't a part of that development and the town sort of fills that role, including whatever programming is happening in public spaces. Question is this letter a venue to bring that up, or is that something that gets sort of hashed out later in the process?
I think, in my opinion, we should tackle it now in order to tackle it again later. I think, so this could be naive, but in my view, the annexation discussion in the first paragraph obviates the need, it sort of shuts down the idea of an HOA or whatever the other thing is. But if you want to tackle it head on, I think we should. I think we're unanimous that we don't like that. I think we also tried to say, maybe not explicitly enough, that we expect everything that's available there to be available to everybody publicly. But
Yeah.
if it's not, go ahead.
I don't think that premise is correct. I think the way that everyone was talking last time, it seems like there was an expectation that even if we were to annex, that there would still be this institution or organization of some kind. And so I think we should be as explicit as we can be without ruffling too many feathers.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think we should be explicit that we expect it never, not to be raised or instituted. However to say that diplomatically. Mr. Wade?
Yeah, not to mean to call anyone out. I saw the chair of the planning board. I forgot your last name. Did you have a comment on that by chance? Sorry to call you out, but I saw your reaction.
Carlo,
If that is okay, Mayor.
Yes, go ahead.
I only was.
Carlos Silbiger, Ward 4.
I'm just watching you,
Yeah.
brother. I'm sorry.
No problem. I was only, because this came up at the joint meeting with the Green Infrastructure Committee and the developers, I remember that it was mentioned that decisions related to the HOA would be in subsequent portions of the process and not this one, which doesn't mean you can't include the comment now, of course, but just when it'll be addressed. Yeah, I'll leave it there.
Did you have anything further, Mr.
No,
Wade?
I believe that we should lay it out up front, in my opinion. So there's a hard stance on
Yeah.
where we are. So
Well, there's some free space now on page 2 since we deleted that. So that might be the replacement text bullet point. Mr. Tanzi, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So, two things. One on each of the main issues raised by Councilmember Briner and Councilmember Wade. So first, for the through streets, I do think it's important that we don't have to discuss the history exactly, but we address the history of this debate. And the biggest talking point, I think, is that the data we did collect said that a lot of people's support of the through streets is contingent on annexation. And I wouldn't use the word contingent in our letter, but we want to tie those together, if anything, to show that the community that we are addressing that reality, that we hope that this is going to become part of Cheverly, and that we want to be connected to what is going to become part of Cheverly. And so I think there's a way to weave that in so it doesn't feel like this is just happening by default, and it is something we've taken into account and moved forward with. On the HOAs, et cetera, the only asterisk I'm going to add to that is I have been in other meetings where the developers are presenting to different groups, and they address their sort of activities group as very much a sort of a recruitment group. That is, how do you get people to want to move here? How do we have activities so you think when you're signing up for residents here, you're signing up for Friday movie nights and stuff like that. So we want to make sure that we don't write it in such a rigid way that we're saying we're not going to let you do those types of things. That the way they speak about it is they feel is essential to attracting people to the development.
No, I understand.
Which I think is a little different than HOA and talking about how long the grass can be and kind of stuff. I think that's something we can speak to more forcefully.
All right, thank you for that. I think that is that second point is easier than the first point. I think we can address that. On your first point, yeah, I mean, let me know if you think that in the paragraph that starts with third, you think that we ought to directly connect the discussion of the, so to speak, the discussion of the roads with annexation. I mean, we addressed annexation and our intent to do so in the very first paragraph, but by the time you get to the second page, maybe you lost the thread and the connection is not as direct. We can certainly tomorrow or Saturday, send me an idea if you want that third paragraph to more explicitly make the,
Okay, I'll try to find a way to put it in there in the way I'm trying to describe that doesn't put us in a bind.
is there any other public input on this? All right, then seeing none, we will finish with the council, and that will be Mr. Wade's.
Yeah, thank you, Councilmember Tansey, for the thoughtful comments. I would be remiss to say that the data also says that a lot of residents do not want the through streets as well. So the data does also say that as well. I yield back.
Thank you for that, and again, we can make any point. Any additional data-based points in that paragraph, if you would like. Vice Mayor, did you want to come in?
I guess my question was just about next steps and finding a balance between empowering the mayor and the town administrator to continue to work on this, but still incorporating council input where possible.
Yeah, I think I'm fine with either option. The two alternatives, the two options for the council are tell Mr. Galloway and me to figure it out, and we will figure it out and get a letter sent by Thursday or Friday of next week. And then you would have a couple days to send us input, and we would figure it out. The second option is you send us what you want by Sunday, and then by Monday I give it to the town clerk. She puts it in a finished letter in the packet for Thursday, and we spend 30 minutes of next Thursday's meeting as an agenda item adopting the letter. That's the 19th. It will take us an additional hour to get it transmitted, and we'll meet the deadline. So it's whatever your pleasure is.
And I've asked this a few times before. Is this a vote? Are we voting on this, or
I mean, I think
how
that,
does it how we do it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you should vote so that it doesn't represent just the ideas of the mayor, but it is from the mayor and council.
So is that vote today, or does it depend on which
If you
path we
choose
go down?
option one, if you choose option one, you will be voting today. If you choose option two, you can vote next Thursday on a finished letter.
I'd be interested in the town administrator's recommendation on that.
My recommendation is to wait until next Thursday.
All right, so, okay, does anyone else feel strongly? Or either way, even 55% one way?
I prefer next Thursday.
All right, that's like 2.5.
Likewise.
Okay. So let us then, Mr. Galloway, add, since next Thursday's a meeting, it's not strictly limited to the budget. So we will have an agenda for next Thursday's meeting. It will start at the time it's supposed to start. And the other second agenda item will be adopting this letter. Yes.
Since it's a special meeting, I think we need to message as soon as possible that it's covering more than just the budget.
Well, yes. We're going to release the agenda probably tomorrow for Thursday's meeting.
Great.
Follow-up.
Yes.
So since we're voting on that, will there be an opportunity for public comment regarding that particular issue?
Yeah, it'll be underlined on the agenda. There will also be public comment allowed on the revenue discussion as well.
Right.
I'd like us just to vote up and down on the finished document and not consider new parts of it.
Understood.
But yes. Any other thoughts on this? You're good with this, Mr. Galloway?
Just a reminder, I will be virtual next Thursday, so.
Okay. I think we're in good shape. I think, council, you have about 48 hours to get me input for changing the letter, and I will get you a draft probably Saturday or Sunday, and then we will get Ms. Richards a final draft Monday morning for the Thursday packet. Moving on to item 15 on the agenda, Maryland House Bill 1142. Council, I will read the resolution regarding this piece of pending state legislation and then ask for a motion from you to adopt it. Resolution R226 A resolution of the Mayor and Council of Cheverly, Maryland in support of House Bill 1142, establishing the task force to modernize county and municipal revenue sources. Whereas the town of Cheverly provides essential frontline services to its residents, including 24/7 police protection, twice-a-week trash pickup, curbside recycling pickup, and comprehensive emergency response, all of which rely on stable and diversified revenue streams. I'll skip ahead. Now therefore be resolved by the Mayor and Council of the town of Cheverly, Maryland, the town formally supports the passage of House Bill 1142 and urges the House Ways and Means Committee and the Senate Budget and Taxation Committee to issue a favorable report, and a copy of this resolution shall be transmitted to Senator Augustine, Delegate Fennell, Delegate Ivy, the town councils of the District 47 municipalities, as well as the staff of the Maryland Municipal League. Council, any questions at this point or comments you would like to make? Okay. Is there any public input on the town's adoption of a resolution of support of House Bill 1142? All right, seeing none, Council, is there a motion?
So moved.
There's been a motion by Council Member Wade to adopt R226. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Excellent. Is there any discussion? Or would you like time to read it? Go ahead.
What does this get us?
What does supporting it get us?
Yes.
We have been requested by the Maryland Municipal League to support the bill. The bill would eventually lead to a task force that would hopefully lead to a revolution within the state of Maryland on how the state shares its many revenues with its 162 cities and towns and special taxing districts. I will say Maryland has one of the most draconian revenue sharing arrangements in the country, and municipal allies have tried for many years to get a task force established that would, over a year or two, draft legislation that would, frankly, require the state to better share its revenue with cities and towns. It's also, I will be candid, more important for District 47 municipalities than some others, because our legislators have outsized voices on this issue. Any other, so there's been a motion and it's been seconded to adopt R226. Is there any further discussion from the council? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion to adopt R226 say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes 5-0. The resolution is adopted, and we will, Ms. Richards and I will work together to get this sent where we said we'd send it. Item 16 on the agenda is the Town Administrator's Report. Mr. Galloway.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I'll be brief with you all this evening. Before I get started, I'll just say that my heart and thoughts are with the families of Virginia, Michigan, and Texas as they go through what they're going through. There's a lot of tension going on in the world right now, and, you know, we just need to take a step back and try to do right by people. But I'll go ahead and get into my report, just Mayor and Council, regarding the Kim Lempier Bikeways Grant. We have submitted an MOU to Park and Planning, just waiting on them to review and provide feedback. And after it's executed, we'll begin to move forward. This is a reminder that tomorrow we do have a business roundtable meeting scheduled at noon. It will be in the gym, so if you can make it, I would encourage you to. and this is for any and all businesses for the town of Cheverly or surrounding area. This is our second business meeting, and I would say our first business meeting was a delight. Landover Carryout will be sponsoring tomorrow's event as well. Just a Cheverly youth update. Open gym nights resume on the first and third Thursdays. Youth study hall will also be held in the large conference room on first and third Tuesdays. Stay tuned for spring break pop-up events with the Cheverly youth. Mayor and Council, I know that we typically have a dumpster day towards the end of April, so that's scheduled now for April the 25th. And I know we had an issue with scheduling the shredding company for private documents, and unfortunately, that had to be a completely separate date, so that will now be scheduled for May 2nd. All of this will be put on your calendar. Yes.
Can you go over the rules of the dumpster day and shredding day? I know there's an amount you can dump, so I can let the residents know.
Yeah, I don't have those right now,
Okay.
but we can definitely provide those in
Thank you.
advance. Yes. Mayor and Council, I think I emailed you all are included in your packet and the report, the Port Town Sector Plan. There will be a public hearing that's scheduled for May the 11th at 6 p.m. at the Wayne Curry Administrative Building. I encourage you all to take a look at the sector plan because it directly impacts the town of Cheverly, but also our bike trail. So let's ensure that there's proper connectivity in that sector plan. Just another reminder about the expungement fair that will be held next Saturday. If you would like to volunteer, please let me know. And the last thing that I'll end on is I want to give just an acknowledgement to Chief Morris. We all know since September the 30th he's been dealing with a matter, but just wanted to acknowledge his presence because since that day, you have continued to remain steadfast in your role here. So just thank you for all that you've done. We did put the announcement out last week, so there was, the chief was ruled legally justified in self-defense. So hate that you ever had to be in that position, but Chief, we appreciate you here at the town of Cheverly. And Mayor and Council, I will answer any questions if you have them.
Council, any questions for the town administrator? Councilmember Fry.
Mr. Galloway, and I think Yvonne just walked out, so maybe she knows, but the times for the first and third Thursday for the youth event, or for the gym nights and then for the study halls, do we have times for those? She just stepped out. I can ask her
Yes.
later, I'm just curious, because the dates are great, just needed to know.
We'll make the announcement public when she comes back in, I promise.
Excellent. Other questions for the town administrator? The only one I have is, do we have a date yet for headshots?
Sure, let me work on the next work session.
Photographs.
Yeah.
What? Kraus. Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I appreciate
Let me
your
work at the-
seriousness on
Let
the
me work
issue.
for the next work session, yes.
Any other questions for the town administrator? Yes. Councilmember Wade needs advance notice. This is why I brought it up. All right. Seeing no further questions for the town administrator, we are on to the police report. Chief Morris or Deputy Chief Kraus, thank you both for being here.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We'll tag team this. The Police Department report is in your packet, so I'll just hit a couple of the highlights from Mayor and Council and information that may be of value or important to the community. On Friday of next week, after 9 very long months, Student Officer Christy Whitehouse will be graduating from the Police Academy. I'm sure she feels it was probably closer to 9 long years, having been there myself. The graduation will take place at the First Baptist Church at Glen Arden in Upper Marlboro, and Mayor and Council, you're certainly invited to attend if your schedules permit, as are members of the community. So we're very proud of Student Officer Whitehouse. She's put a lot of effort into being able to successfully graduate from a very, very difficult program. In addition to that, so we'll be swearing in Student Officer or Officer Whitehouse as well as Officer Jones at the next regular town meeting. He's also completed his experienced police officer training. The police department will host a crisis communications class, a 3-day class, April 20th through 22nd here in the town, that we are accepting volunteer role players. No acting experience required, although we suspect that there might be some that will be future actors. So anyway, and that also extends to the community. The more assistance we have, the more role plays we can set up, and that's a benefit to the students. And I'm going to turn over to the Deputy Chief the information about the Youth Explorer program and a public safety event night that's coming up with Prince George's County.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Where are we here? Oh, yep, CPD. We are currently designing a Youth Explorer program. The program will be available to youth ages 14 to 20 years old. We're doing this to create, the opportunity to engage them in leadership development, community service, and educational activities that provide an inside look at law enforcement and hopefully develop our youth here in the town to be the future generation of law enforcement here in the town. So we're looking to start accepting applications May 1st. We'll stand up the program, and we've selected Officer Brown to coordinate the efforts since he does most of our community engagement. So we thought that would be a good fit. Yeah, I thought so. Where are we here? The Blue Light Nights. Patrol and Traffic Safety Initiative, CPD will be participating in a public safety effort, Blue Light Nights, on Friday, March 20th, and Saturday, March 21st. This is coordinated through the Prince George's County Police Department's Operations Command Center, and agencies from the District of Columbia, Maryland, and Virginia are all encouraged to participate, aiming for a collaborative effort in high visibility policing and community engagement for those 2 days. The DMV has a strong history of working together on different initiatives, and this particular one will highlight the relationships and foster an opportunity for our younger officers to be able to make those valuable connections that we all have previously. And then I will turn it back over to the chief to wrap it up.
And last but not least, the Public Safety Day has been set for Friday, June the 5th. There'll be more information forthcoming on that, but we're in the preliminary planning stages. And that'll conclude our report. Certainly welcome any questions from the Mayor and Council or the community.
Thank you. June 5th is a great date, and I hope long enough in front of Cheverly Day as to be able to be a little more manageable for the town staff. Also, thank you for 2 things. One, the direct officer enforcement that's being conducted at Columbia Park Road and Cheverly Avenue in the morning. I've walked past there more than once on the way to the Metro, and it is effective and appreciated. Number 2, thank you in advance, Chief. I think you agreed to be the guest of honor at the American Sign Language Coffee House coming up.
Going to be Sergeant Blunt.
Sergeant Blunt, thank you for participating.
There. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful. Council, any questions for the police department? I wanted to ask for a quick status update on the Columbia Park Road Bridge cameras. Wow.
So, Mayor and Council, we will be presenting an RFP at the town work session for the automated enforcement so that we can look at this more broadly. We think it's important for the mayor and council to have a better understanding perhaps of the challenges of the automated enforcement and the different providers that are out there and the level of service and the quality of that service that the town should be receiving that we have concerns with. So we'll be presenting that RFP for your consideration in 2 weeks.
Okay, so it'll be on the work session agenda. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Today, if one were to break the rules there is at least one operating camera?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And it is generating a considerable number of violations.
Including from town residents, I would wager.
I'm sure it is. And we've, and in the short period of time that we've been operating, our officers have yielded over 100 traffic stops just in that immediate area. So clearly there's a defined need for better, more efficient enforcement, and that's part of the purpose of automated enforcement because it's indiscriminate in its nature, and it also is more effective utilization of our staffing resources.
Any further questions from council for the police department? All right, thank you. Oh, Mr. Galloway, you have an addition?
Mayor and council, just two more things. If the red light cameras don't get you, our officers will. Again, just to highlight the fact that it's been less than 8 days since they started a traffic initiative and have yielded well over 100 stops. In addition to that, code enforcement Officer O'Barry has been working with our day work staff, and they're going to be increasing parking violations in the town. He's done a really good job of putting together a sort of cheat sheet for town code and parking enforcement for our younger officers. So we are going to be looking at doing more parking enforcement throughout the town. So just to let you know.
I am a huge proponent of parking enforcement. Thank you. That is great news. Mr. Brayman, you have some questions for the police department?
No, sir, I'm trying to get primed for the next
Oh,
item.
I see. Okay. Hearing no further questions from the council for the police department, Mr. Brayman and Mr. Cardenas, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Town Council, and Town of Cheverly. The first item, Mr. Mayor, you asked for a colorful planting plan, and so actually we have Dr. Tolbert Feather is with us this evening. I solicited his help. You have copies of it, but I believe he's going to be able to share his screen and walk us through it. And there he is. Good evening, Tolbert.
Thank you, Steve. Say hello to everybody in the meeting tonight. And Steve had asked us to maybe come up with a color plan for the town. And there'll be annual flowers. There are, I don't know if I'm going to be able to share or not. There we go.
All right.
Do you see it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the four areas in numbered areas in red are existing beds that can just be planted right away. The blue lettered areas are beds that would have to be cut, prepared, where you take the existing vegetation out and maybe till the soil and get it prepped. So there'd be around 1,200 plants if you did the whole plan. unless if you did the areas that are ready. What I'm proposing, since we're hitting the bicentennial, is to use red, white, and blue wave petunias. Wave petunias are spreading petunias that are drought tolerant. And I don't know if we can still get red, white, and blue, but I have a supplier in Glenwood, Maryland that I can ask if they have them available, probably planted. Probably early to mid-May would be a time to do it. Or it can be as late as late May or early June as well. And that concludes my proposal.
All right, thank you for that. I think this is great. I think we would need a work session discussion if we want to go with a more expansive, like the letter plan. I think my initial intention, and if we want to do that, we can certainly do that. My initial intention had been basically the red numbers plus letter F included. Up near letter F would include the stone sign at Cheverly and 202. So I think this is great for that. If folks are interested in doing more extensive work with some of these bump outs and other areas, I think we need to discuss it at a work session.
If you want, we can just proceed with that first part of the plan.
That sounds great. And I leave the timing to you. I don't know how to grow anything, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all right, thank you for that. Thank you, Mr. Tolbert. Vice Mayor, did you have-
Great.
Well,
Thank you.
hold on, Tolbert.
No, this is for Mr. Braman, just
okay.
that I always appreciate a large variety of colors, a rainbow of colors. So if we were thinking about where to go in terms of that, I know.
So beyond red, white, and blue?
Maybe.
Okay.
We can do that too. That was just,
All right.
I work for the airport and they're very excited about red, white, and blue.
Mr. Wade, you had some flower ideas?
I do have some. Thank you, Dr. Tolbert. Thank you, Mr. Braman, for just also suggesting the other part of Ward 1. I know we own a part of 58th Place and Landover, right? The beginning part of that parcel by the Parkway. Mm-hmm. And that is also, as I always mention, the invitation in the beginning of Cheverly from that side. So we don't have anything on that side. So in the distant near future, maybe looking at that area as well, since we have a parcel land over there as well.
Okay.
Thank you for that. The old Palm Reader property.
Right, I don't believe there's a planting bed there, but we can look at that either in this first phase or circling back around on that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's a good point, because it gets a lot of visibility exiting from the parkway as well. All right, Mr. Braman, go ahead.
All right, so if there's no other questions on that, thank you very much, Dr. Feather, for your time this evening. You do have a copy of my report. Unfortunately, I forgot the list, that the second bullet is on 5701 Landover Road. So I'm happy to report that Mr. Cardenas has successfully started various tasks that the CNPP group has asked us to do at that park. Actually looking at some of the emails that have come in, there's some compliments, and there's dialogue back and forth between the group and Mr. Cardenas. So we are making progress there. So I think that was an item that CNPP, as well as some of you all, may have been waiting to see us move forward on. And then lastly, we've also successfully installed no parking signs in Lydell, which is in the Cheverly Industrial Park. So over there's a lot of confusion with parking and that, and so hopefully these signs will help out. They certainly seem to help out to a degree on Oak when we put those in. So we will be monitoring that and get some feedback from code enforcement, and but that job is completed. Yep. So that short report, but brief, concise, and I'll take any questions anybody has.
No, thank you for that, and we always appreciate both the police department and the public works departments paying attention to the industrial park. Let's go to Mr. Wade and then Mr. Galloway.
All right. Just want to thank the Public Works Department, also CMPP. This past Saturday, they had a cleanup there at 5701 Landover Road, Diane Beadle. Also, Anacostia Watershed Society was there, as well as the youth at University of Maryland Democratic Youth Association. It was a big cleanup for about 3 hours. I had a chance to stop by there. But thank you again, Luis, for the follow-up and for us continuing to move forward, and of course, with the leadership of Mr. Brayman and, of course, Mr. Galloway. I yield back.
Thank you for that. Mr. Galloway?
No, I'm just going to say thank you for putting those no parking signs up. One of the things that we're going to do tomorrow is have a broader conversation about parking over in the industrial area, okay? And I'm sure that, some issues have already been brought to our attention, so we may have to make some recommendations to change the language in the code so that it can be a little bit more restrictive. But we're going to wait until tomorrow, and we're going to continue the dialogue with the business owners and business community there. So within the next 2 months, you'll get a recommendation from the three of us, or the four of us, as it relates to parking in the industrial park. Over.
Thank you for that. Yes, that entire Pepsi plant intersection is about to become one of the two major gateways to our $500 million development. Are there any other questions from the council for the Public Works Department? Okay, hearing none, council, we are on to the agenda review. So next Thursday, we are meeting, I think it's at 7:30, don't quote me on the time, to discuss the budget revenue. That meeting will be entirely virtual, or are we doing it hybrid next week? What do you think?
Virtual.
I got a virtual. In person only? Okay. One contrarian view to my left. This is the 19th? All right. What do you think, Mr. Galloway?
He's going to be virtual. I heard him say that.
Shall we just meet virtually?
Virtually is
Okay. That agenda, sorry, do you have the time in front of you? Or, I don't remember.
6:30.
6:30, thank you. So at 6:30 on the 19th, we will meet entirely virtually, of course, with our ASL interpreter, and there will be two major items on the agenda. One is the Cheverly Hill letter, and the other is a revenue and general government discussion for the FY27 budget. The work session will be on the 26th of March. We are going to hear from Keller Construction again. We will discuss the policy committee's recommendation regarding elected officials' use of town resources. We will discuss Charter Amendment 226 on the election provision, Mr. Galloway. Will it be ready in a week, or shall we wait a month? All right, strike that.
Let's keep that to April.
We'll do that at the April work session. Yes, for the elections. Yeah, we're going to move that to April. We are going to discuss a budget adjustment, I learned only recently, next Thursday. Is that right, for the floor?
No, not next Thursday. That would be at the next town meeting.
Okay. And then, is there an RFP we're going to discuss next Thursday? Okay. And the other item I wrote down, and this is the first time you're hearing it, is it is in 2 weeks. Yes, sir. On the 26th of March. Thank you. Well, thank you. So could you bring for us, because it's already March, and I know Ms. Richards has us on a deadline for MML summer conference, can you bring us a itemized readout of what all 7 of us have spent in our conference allocation, and then we can make judgments or offer each other some of our allocations as befits our plans for the remainder of the fiscal year?
Absolutely. I intend on sending that out within the next week. There's been a request for that already, and we should get that out within the next week.
Okay. I know personally, or I shouldn't say personally, for the mayor, I've already used up a lot of money because I went to the mayor's conference last week, so I know my number's going to be relatively high and may not. And MML Summer Conference may well not fit under that cap, and that's part of our conversation.
Your allocation is different than the council members, remember that, so.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Fair point. Okay, council, any other items for either the 19th or the 26th of March? Mr. Wade.
26, I have a couple. I did send an email out to the mayor and council regarding a request for the committee to provide the second draft revision, at least a week in advance, to make sure we can have time to review it so we're not looking at the day of. So if that is possible, we greatly appreciate that. By chance, is that possible?
Yeah, I responded to your email with the thumbs up.
Okay, I didn't. I'm
yeah.
not used to that. I thought it would be an email, but thank
Sure.
you. I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
No, there is a draft. It's being reviewed by the attorney right now.
Okay, awesome. So we have that. And mayor and council, are we going to provide that to the public the day of during the work session or no?
Yes, it would be my intention that it would be in the meeting packet that's released usually Tuesday.
Okay. 5801 Annapolis Road. Will we have anything to talk about that for any updates? I know the green infrastructure also had a lot of stuff. Not for that. Okay. 5701 Landover Road. Anything updates regarding that? Talk about
This
that.
is for March 26th. Should we have a work session discussion of the fence?
Because it was on the agenda today, but then we pushed that back. So are we going to have a discussion regarding that?
Well, we can decide next week, but I'm inclined to put it on the agenda as a discussion unless yeah. But we can talk and and announce a decision about that agenda next Thursday when we
So,
meet.
can I ask a question?
Yes.
What is it that we want to discuss?
I guess what we were going to discuss today, but it was pushed off.
I think we need to discuss what our fence options are or what fence we are selecting and what funds we're using to pay for it.
Okay, because we are still in the process of getting quotes, hence the reason why we have to remove it off of the agenda today. So I should be able to approach you with a few quotes. One quote that I've received so far is below the $10,000 spending procurement requirement. So just keep that in mind. However, I do want to review all the quotes and then provide them to you all. So if we do have them available for the next meeting, I most certainly will move forward with adding that to the agenda. But if they're not available, then we'll have to kick it again.
Got it. Thank you. Another item is the Metro bus shelters. I know we discussed that in the past. Update with WMATA regarding that. We have several locations.
I can give you an update on that. It's not Metro, it's actually the county. We put in a request to Prince George's County Department of Public Works and Transportation, and I had meetings with individuals with our District 5 liaison from the office about this matter. So they're supposed to come and do a site evaluation to deem if it's necessary to add those covers. I have made the request for those, but that is to be determined. So when I receive more information from the Public Works and Transportation Department, I'll forward it to the mayor and council and provide a community update.
Thank you, Mr. Galloway. And I'm not sure which ones, because I was looking at, there were a couple driving by I'm not sure if they're on your list, so I'll shoot you an email regarding those.
Also had a conversation with them about Councilmember Tansey's point earlier about the incorrect signs. So they're supposed to come out and modify those as well. So.
Okay. And one is the I was going to talk about this in my comments, but since we're talking about work session, 58th place in Newton. As you know, we had an incident over the weekend where we had a car that was dumped there Friday morning, and literally just left there for 2 days almost. It's a hidden area back there, so I want to thank the chief and the DC for bringing out Sergeant Blunt and Officer Jail. They came out, assessed it, and got it towed. But they did mention that is a lot of individuals that are just staying there. Unfortunately, caught a couple in the car having physical activities late at night. There are a lot of cars out there. I brought this up several times before, but especially during the summertime, there will be more individuals there. So looking at possibilities of lighted area. You said what?
No.
Fighting.
Let's keep going.
No. So definitely it's a major issue for the residents over there, particularly with the woods there. Even walking the area, we had tire dumping there before, but also now that it's cleared from the snow, there's a lot of dumping being done there. So something that we might discuss as far as lighting. There's no lighting at all over there. So those are the things I have on my plate.
So should we have an agenda item,
Yes.
58th and Newton?
58th.
Because I think there's a lot of items that under that umbrella, particularly, town and county coordination, because half the street is county and, yeah.
No, that's all us.
No, I know, but like a block away, right?
Okay.
So the dumping is hard to police, similar to
It's
the
federal.
issues.
It's federal. That area is federal.
Okay,
Yeah.
but it's not, okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right, any other agenda items? Okay, then I believe that takes us to item 20, which is mayor and council announcements. Would anyone like to start? No? Anyone? Mr. LeGloahec.
So this is my shameless plug period. So tomorrow at St. Ambrose, there will be a fish fry, a Lenten fish fry for anybody who is interested and observing. From 5 to 8 p.m., adults for $13, kids are $9. Takeout is also available. Fish, mac and cheese, this year, French fries, green beans, and the best Costco sheet cakes you'll ever have. So come down from 5 to 8 p.m. Tomorrow at St. Ambrose in Fannin Hall.
Thank you for that. Mr. Wade.
Busy today, very busy. The PGCMA, as mentioned, I'm on the board for the PGCMA. Earlier this week, we had our second meeting with County Exec Brayboy. I want to thank Councilmember Tansey for providing county issues. We discussed transportation and road safety. So again, he mentioned about Columbia Park Road. The DPW&T director was there along with a lot of her legislative staff, a lot of her high members, and they discussed the fact that the state and county are working to sync the lights there. So I know that's something that Mr. Galloway been working for a long time for. But again, to be in that room to emphasize that, I think the county exec, this is the first time I've known that the county exec has really reached out to have at least a quarterly meeting with the 27 municipality representatives there. So I think that's very important. Kudos to them. We also discussed better pedestrian bike paths and lighting along Amazon from the Columbia Park Road from the Amazon Metro, Cheverly Avenue as well. And the next meeting we will have, we'll discuss utilities. The utility companies, as you know, the rates are going up, and how the companies there, as well as SHA representation there. She did have a budget release meeting today, and she also emphasized partnerships with county-wide cleanup initiatives. So this would be an opportunity for the town of Cheverly to partner with her. That's something that we want to do, to one of her initiatives. She mentioned about she had 2 executive orders around ICE. The first was placing a moratorium on permits for all detention centers and a safe space initiative where ICE cannot conduct any businesses, any of the county offices and buildings. The schools do not fall under that. So that's one of the big things that she's discussing moving forward with that. and she mentioned about the Preakness. Not sure if you know the Preakness is, it will be in Laurel this year because they're working on in Baltimore, and the emphasis on Prince George's County doing various initiatives or celebrations of that for that day. So if you know any businesses that can do that support, definitely we have that. So we possibly can bring the Preakness officially to Prince George's County. So for that, I'm going to start an initiative every month to do a Ward 1 Resident of the Month to highlight the contributions for the residents in Ward 1 for the town, highlight their businesses, their organizations. The selection process will be done by the fellow residents of Ward 1, and then this will also be a prize provided based on availability of funds. So again, just highlighting the residents of Ward 1 from that. And I had the opportunity with my day job to work with the Art of Prince George's. They have received a grant. I talked to Ms. Riazzi about this with our seniors to provide free transportation to and from their medical appointments. I'm not sure the turnaround time. That just happened this week. I will get out the word. I will work with Cheverly Village Women's Club to work with them to get more applicants in. And again, I don't know the amount of the grant fully, but I was talking with the executive director going forward to make sure that happens. I yield back.
All right, thank you. Any further? Councilmember Fry.
Thank you. So I want to add on a little bit to what Councilmember Wade was saying in regards to the moratorium on detention centers. Detention centers are not allowed in Prince George's County unless they are run by Prince George's County. So the UNO is on any spaces that may appear to have things that you would see at a detention center. And because of the definition that's in the executive order, there's a lot of concern about a location up in Hyattsville. I'm sure you guys all are, or many of you are aware, 6505 Bellcrest, and it's to expand basically the OPLA office. My question to the Office of Law was, they are now detaining people in offices. So does that then kind of change what that is? And I was just told that DPI has a broad discretion upon their inspections. So as of right now, I think they're on their second or third failed inspection. One of them was a no entry, so they didn't go in on that. But that's something that I think all of County Council's been working on, and I do want to, and I have to shout out my boss, because it was her conversation with County Executive Brave Boy that led to the executive order, because legislation just takes too long. And we've been hearing rumors and stuff. So just wanted to add that to his important point. And then also, just if you're hearing anything in the community, you know anybody, just that might have concerns, may know somebody a loved one who's been taken, anything like that, and they don't know what to do, please feel free to reach out to me. Just because my office and my day job, we're working very hard to try to liaise resources to community members. And right now, we're learning and realizing that a lot of our residents might not feel comfortable kind of just reporting things or in general. So whatever we can do as neighbors, I think is very important. We do have somebody in town who's doing the indivisible mutual aid, who's picking up, so that's on the listserv, which is great, and assisting, I think, about 100 families per week on food. So that's really great. But also, there are ways, and I know this sounds a little doomsday-ish, and I don't like to say it, but I do want our neighbors prepared. And there are nonprofits who will do trainings on safety departure plans, meaning like make sure you get all your documents in order just in case you are taken, or what is a way for you to safely depart because you are undocumented. So yes, just whatever we can do on that front. I just want people to know there are resources out there. While we are limited in some of the stuff we can do, we just all need to pull together on that one. And then the second thing I wanted to mention, and it's just a congratulations on a happier note. I know that most of us know the Ruddy family. Joseph C. Ruddy III, last Friday, was sworn in as one of our new associate judges in the 7th Judicial District. He is a Cheverly, I believe, born. His father's was part of Cheverly for more than 50 years, I think. So the Ruddy family has done significant things for Cheverly Boys and Girls Club, which used to be Cheverly Boys Club until Joe Ruddy II had that changed. So it's nice to know that there are still good things happening in the community. We're putting people that we can trust in positions of in power that really can influence things happening to, our neighbors and the kids in our community and the families in our community. So I just wanted to kind of give a shout out to him and say congratulations to their family.
Thank you for that, and that is great news. I didn't know that about Joe Ruddy, so I will put that in the mayor's note for the April newsletter. I'll get some information on it. Anything else? I just two quick items. One is the Fourth Ward Civic Association has not met in a couple months, but they are meeting on Monday, the 16th, this coming Monday at 7 o'clock online. So if you live in Ward, wherever you live, you're welcome to join. If you live in Ward 4, then you can vote on items. But it's always a good discussion, and we have several exciting projects to discuss throughout the Fourth Ward. And then lastly, I'll have my March Mayor's Hours this coming Wednesday, the 18th. It's from 7 to 8:30, hybrid, in person, and online with ASL interpretation. Seeing no other mayor and council announcements, we are at item 21. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's been motion and second. Is there any discussion, council? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes 5-0. We will see you in a week.